Hello the internet. Today I'm going to show you how to turn a photo like this into something like this using AI and a tiny bit of photo editing. The first step that you need to do is to take a photo, and the photo needs to be obviously well lit and in exactly the position that you want to be. So me and my friend Sam here are pointing at this Pyrex, and we use this eventually as a thumbnail for YouTube. And what we ended up doing is turning it into a picture of us dressed in like old style clothing, and it looks like we're holding like a big glass of Guinness beer. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to head over to an AI app called Magnific. So it's magnific.ai, and you do get quite a few free credits when you sign up. What you need to do is set your magic spell to this new Mystic v2.5, which is still in beta. This is literally brand new, just came out a couple of weeks ago. You're going to upload your image, so the photo that you took, as a structure reference. And when you've done that, it's going to give you a slider from 0 to 100%. If you just set it at 50 to start with, and bear in mind this is AI, so you might need to prompt this a few times to get the result that you're looking for. You're going to stick your prompts in here, and then you're going to set, I think, keep the model as that. Your aspect ratio, I think it should automatically keep the aspect ratio of your photo, but I think most photos are probably something like 16:9 or something. You just have to work it out, but I think it should keep it anyway. The resolution, I would keep the resolution lower. I think it might give you the option of 2K depending on the size of the photo. I think when you put a structure reference, it will say 1K. So if you can, keep it at 1K. But what you're aiming for is, I've used up all my credits here, so I don't need to run this again. But down here it will tell you how many credits it's going to take to run the image. So you've got your credit number up here. I think it's like 30 credits you get or something, or maybe 50 credits. And then you want to aim for 4 credits so that you get a lot of chances to rerun it. And a 4 credit image is going to be big enough for most things that you want. So what then happens here is, once you've run your prompt, you're going to get an image which is going to look something like this. So what we're aiming for here is to hold the structure of the image, which is what the structure reference is. That means that everything in the AI version of the image is going to match exactly to your photos. See, as I'm moving around here, just look at how the shoulder sits, exactly the same. My friend Sam's arm, his hat, the peak is exactly the same. His facial features, although the facial features are different, like the way positioning of the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the beard, is all exactly the same, which is what we want. So this is really great. So once we've created a prompt here, so a couple of things on the prompts, you can see that I've been exploring different things here. So this one is more of like an artistic change. So I've taken a photo and created it into an illustration. And the prompt I used here was an anime style illustration. So you want to be careful that you're not prompting the AI to change the artistic style of the photo. So where obviously this has gone from like a modern day photo to kind of like a early 20th century photo, it's still actually a photo. So you just want to make sure that you keep the prompt as a photo style. You don't need to prompt the AI to keep it as a photo, which I didn't hear. What I said was, 2 men discuss a pint of Guinness. They are dressed as smugglers. So the key points here is the pint of Guinness, which is what we've been given here. Like, I know it's a big glass, but it's essentially a pint of Guinness. And then they are dressed as smugglers. So we just wanted to change our outfits. So if you look here, like even like the background, if you look, there's a fence at the back, and it's kept the structure and style of the fence, and it's just made it look a bit more vintage, basically. So I think you could probably go in terms of prompting. You could request a specific era, perhaps, of a photo, like in 1960s or something like that. But this is the reason why I'm saying go with the 4 credits, because you get a few goes. I think, like I said, 30 or 50 credits, something like that. And then once you've done that and you've got your photo and you're happy with it, you're just going to download it. and then we're going to go over to an editing tool, Photoshop, Affinity Designer, Pixelmator. I don't know, maybe Canva, or maybe even just like, an iPhone app or something. Most photo editing tools are going to be fine here, but I'm using Pixelmator Pro. So let me just take you back to my original photo. So this, I have actually adjusted the tones on this photo a bit, which we'll get into in a minute. But if we go into, let me find the original image. So I'm just going to drag this in here. So this is my original image. So once we put it into Pixelmator or your photo editing app of choice, I'm just going to line it up so that it matches the size of my existing image. And then if I turn the opacity down, you'll see that everything is lining up perfectly, which is exactly what we want. Because now what we're going to do is erase the faces on the AI image to expose the face from the original photo behind. So if I just show you here, so the way I've laid my layers out, we've got the original, and then underneath is the AI image here, and then underneath is the original. So the next thing to do, and this is the key part of getting the faces in, is we're going to use this erase tool. So it may be slightly different on your app, but they're all pretty much the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a brush size that looks fairly matching of the size of the face. So I might just bring this down a little bit. So obviously I've got quite a large image here, so the brush size is say 150 pixels. And then I'm going to bring the softness down as well to around 25%. And then make sure that you've selected your right layer. So you're going to want your AI image layer here. And then all we're going to do is literally just paint over, or with using the brush tool, and that's just going to remove the face of the AI image and expose the face underneath. So that's literally just doing that. So if we just paint around a little bit, there we go. And also you might just want to play around with the softness as well. And I have found sometimes actually if you increase the brush size a bit, it kind of makes it a little bit softer. That might work a bit better. So there we go. So that's replacing the face. You can have a play around with it, but that's the basic concept. And obviously this isn't perfect. We're not professional photo editors. We don't need to be, because that's why we're using AI. And then all you then do, so obviously I'll do the other face. If there's only one face, you just need to do one face. Is go select the original photo in the background. So what we've done now is we've just erased this basically. Yeah, actually thinking about it, I think actually if we go on to the erase tool, actually I think the softness probably wants to be higher, not lower. Yeah. So yeah, sorry. So do it around the other way. So you wanna have a high softness, not a low softness, because that's gonna allow the shading around the face to blend in a bit better. That's much better. Okay. Right, and then we're gonna click on the original image, and then all we're gonna do is we're gonna go into like the color adjustments. So this will be different on your app if you're not using Pixelmator, but you've got all these adjustments like basic adjustments, clarity, hue and saturation. All you're going to do is just play around with it. It's just a case of spend 10 minutes just sliding all these things around and just being like, is that better or worse? Is that better or worse? I'm not an expert photo editor, but I've managed to get it to how I wanted it. So what you'll be left with at the end is something like this, which it's not 100% perfect, the skin tones, but it's pretty damn good. And then what I did is I took the two layers together, and then I did a right click and I did a merge. So merge is just going to put these two photo layers together, so everything that's on top. So then that creates the final image, which I then took into did some more adjustments, and I felt like it was nicer as a black and white image. So in Pixelmator you've got your color adjustments here, and you've got a few different options, but obviously your app may be slightly different. And I just played around with the colors, and then to add a bit more excitement to the photo, my friend was like, oh, it might be cool if there was like some barrels in the background, because we're trying to look like smugglers. So I went on to Unsplash and pulled off a picture of some barrels, which look like this. Obviously they were in color, but I've made them gray. And then I obviously needed to bring my friend back into the foreground, so I added a couple more layers and used the erase tool to kind of brush around the picture so that it would bring him in. And then I eventually ended up with something that looked like this. And I had created another layer to remove the logos and stuff from here. So that tool is called the repair tool. So I think, and then I just set the brush size to really small, and I literally just painted over the words, and they disappeared. And that's just a bit of trial and error. And then we ended up with an image that looked like this, which we were making for a video that we made on Guinness on YouTube. So I put some logos on there, and then it made it look like the barrels were Guinness barrels, and then I just added some text over there, and that was my YouTube thumbnail. And that is pretty much it. So I hope that was useful. I honestly cannot believe how good this tool is. It's going to open up so many possibilities for me and my friend Sam on our YouTube channel. And if you want to go and watch the video we made for this, our YouTube channel is called Over 2 Cans. So yeah, I appreciate that if you can give that a watch as well. Anyway, hope that was useful. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.